My father, he came up during the Depression looking for work, rode the railroad trains like the Depression era people often did. I lived in Nixa, about 10 miles south of Springfield. Little tiny community. It had the world's largest cheese factory. My father, before the war started, was a foreman there. When the war started, my parents went off and worked in a munitions plant, loading shells for cannons. After the war, my father, he had arthritis very bad in his hands, and he couldn't straighten them out, he couldn't close them, and there was a fellow that had purported to have a treatment for arthritis. His hands were hurting so much, so he was willing to try anything. For whatever reason it was, he was able to help my father considerably, and his hands became good again. I decided to go to the University of Oregon and get some basic pre-med. And I took a job working at Georgia Pacific Lumber Company. My job was cleaning up the mill yard. I did that at night. I went to school during the day. My first experience with hearing devices was at Minnesota Hearing Aid Center. When I landed there, I didn't know how to tie a tie. I learned how to do things in that place. I worked really hard. There's nothing I wouldn't do. And I started seeing patients, and I actually did better than the people that had been doing it for years. And I said, well, I can do this. The ear is the road to the heart. The loss of hearing separates you from people. When I went to work, making those earpieces and saw the faces of the people when they could hear, it impacted me so much. And I saw that a potential in business to work through not just your own hands as a doctor, but through the hands of teams. Instead of affecting a small community, you can have a world impact.
He's a true leader and works like a farmer, you know, from sunup to sundown and then many hours afterwards. He cares about his endeavor.
My idea of success is having the resources to not say no whenever I'm faced with something that needs to be done. If I can do that, then I'm successful.
Horatio Alger